Songwriter Soup.
I'm not always necessarily better at the end of the session than I was at the beginning, so I want to not be taking sessions just for that reason anymore.
I love that.
Healthy recipes for not losing your mind and your money in the songwriter business.
When I came to town, I thought that songs were the higher thing we were all serving. I didn't really understand at all that anything else was going to matter. To make good art is to be authentic, and I wanted to work with other people who were also being authentic.
Welcome to Songwriter Soup, everybody.
Welcome. It's nice to
sultry,
be back.
Kevin.
I
Thank
know.
you.
Sultry intro.
Kind of sexy. We have Nell Maynard on the podcast today.
Hi.
I am so thrilled that you're here.
I am so thrilled to be here. It's kind of surreal.
Well, it's wonderful on 1,000 levels because I feel like I met you, well, first through Hope on the Row,
Right.
which is my get out of your head free card for songwriters. Like, go feed some people and forget that this job exists for an hour. And now you've been doing that probably just as long as me. When did you start serving Hope on the Row?
During COVID,
Yeah,
Ava
same.
started it. Ava Sapelsa started it as she would just fill bags with snacks and other toiletries, things people needed, and we would just pack them into our cars just so we had them driving around town. And then the serving started shortly after that. But I think because I was friends with Ava, I got involved pretty early on.
Yeah, so I found out about it probably right after she shifted to a service with tables. So it's every Sunday, 2:00. If you're out there and you're a songwriter and you need new friends, I think it's just a great spot to meet people, but also it's not to meet people, it's to serve. So it's like a combination, it's a get out of your head vibe. But I started on Thanksgiving of 2020 and I heard about it through somebody. And then I just fell in love, and I had been looking for something to pour into for myself that really takes me out of phase. And my kids have been serving there, we've been in the line together several times. So that's how we met. But then I kind of figured out that you knew who I was in the line. And I'm trying to remember the timeline. Did this podcast exist at that point?
Oh, not even close.
Not even close.
I remember the Thanksgiving you're talking about.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, because you posted on your story that you were going to be at Hope on the Row.
Yes.
And this is not news to you. You are a hero of mine. And actually, I saw you at Kroger that morning, and we had never met. And I was like, that was Laura.
Oh my God. Are you serious?
Yeah. I
my
think
God.
we were both shopping for Hope on the Row.
I'm sure we were.
And I was actually hosting a Thanksgiving thing at my house, and I left. I said, bye, guys. I'm going to go serve at Hope on the Row. I'll be back in an hour.
Oh, my God.
And came in. I think that's the day I introduced myself, because you had also worked with an artist I work with closely, within the last couple weeks before that. So I introduced myself. I was like, you don't know me. I know you. I really know you.
You were so sweet, and you were funny. I just want to say, you were immediately hilarious. And I was like, who is this woman? I just like this person. So it was just
thanks, Laura.
a very sweet exchange. But we have been friends.
Yeah.
Come to my son's baseball games, and we've had dinner around my table. So Nell and I are homies.
Let's not leave out your extreme generosity that after that Thanksgiving, you were like, there's not enough hot food at Hope on the Row. And you posted on Instagram and said, in the comments of a Hope on the Row post, you said, does anybody want to do a chili? And I was like, yeah, I would totally be interested in that. And you go, do you have an Instant Pot? And I was like, no, but I'll invest.
Oh my God, that's right.
And then later that week, an Instant Pot shows up at my house from Miss Laura Veltz.
I forgot.
And the little Amazon, this is a gift from Laura Veltz. That thing was not, it fell under a shoe. So I didn't see it. So I'm calling my mom, calling my grandparents. I'm like, who sent me an Instant Pot?
Oh my God.
And then you text me or DM me or something. You're like, did you get my present? And I was like, you sent me. Laura Veltz sent me an Instant Pot.
I'm so happy that happened because I completely forgot.
I use it all the time. I've made chili for Hope on the Row so many times.
Oh my God. I love that. It is the easiest way to make something for that.
It's so easy.
It's so easy.
And you can just bring it and it stays hot. You serve directly out of it.
It's got a handle.
Songwriter Soup. Brought to you by Instant Pot.
Instant Pot
For
slash
real.
chili.
Welcoming any
Instant Pot, get in on this.
Can you imagine? Instant Pot for everybody. That's amazing. That really brings like rouge to my cheeks just because of that. It's so funny. You do things and I completely zoned that out. That makes me so happy.
I couldn't believe your generosity. I
That's
was
very
like,
sweet.
this is a real person who's very kind.
Well, I'm a real person and I really like you. And you
Oh,
left such an
Laura.
impression. And I thought you were so fun. And if anybody who cares to serve people I'm going to care about that. And
633 Middleton Street, right outside
633.
Nashville Rescue Mission, Sundays at 2.
Super easy to come, super fun. Anyway, so Nell, we've written together, but I want to say you have a crew. Like your generation keeps moving forward. But like Thomas Daniel, I want to say it's that middle class songwriter era where it's like, there's a lot ahead, got some stuff in the rear view. We've got some stuff going on, but there's a lot, ahead.
Hopefully.
Well, I believe. And
I believe too.
You were just recently signed.
Yes.
Tell me about that and your journey to get there. Because you have been around my table going, what does it gotta fucking take to get a deal? Like we have been in that conversation
For years.
For years. And
Yeah.
then we have one. So walk us through all of it, the pain, the hope, the keep going, all of that stuff that just goes along with the weight because it is kind of dizzying.
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, thrilled to be called quote unquote middle class of songwriter because I feel like I've been scrapping at the bottom for so long that it is really interesting to look back and be like, I got some stuff going
We got
on.
somewhere. That's right.
I'm not where I started.
We are moving forward.
Yes,
Absolutely.
Things
Yeah.
have changed. So I actually know linearly how I got this deal. And it's because I wrote a song called This Is Where with the artist Drew Schuler and writer Claire Flint. And Drew submitted it for the American Songwriter Song Contest.
Whoa.
And it won. And there is a company called Savage Ventures, which is a media conglomerate that owns American Songwriter, Vice, several other media outlets. And an A&R named Scott Graves joined Savage Ventures and said, you guys have a pipeline of talented unsigned songwriters. There should be a publishing arm going on here. This is really an untapped stream.
Whoa.
So he was involved in starting Savage Music Publishing. So after that song won the song contest, he reached out to me. We had a meeting. He told me what Savage Ventures is doing, what Savage Music Publishing is doing. And he said, I want to set you up on a meeting with the publishing team. And so I had a meeting with Jamie Hart and Ashley Maeda. And those are my people now. So yeah, we had meetings for several months and they sort of gave me the rundown of what they're doing. I don't know how much you want to get into the terms of the deal on this.
You know what I would
but-
love because it's new.
Yeah.
Because I'm used to hearing deal points and, our listeners are used to, I'm pointing at them.
They're over there.
They're hidden in those
And they're
cameras.
there.
Oh.
Over here as well. They're used to hearing a pretty, standard deal. Are there any particular differences in this kind of deal or is it kind of standard?
It's completely non-standard, actually unprecedented in the words of my attorney.
Huh. Tell us
Right.
about that.
So Ashley Maeda, my publisher, came to me and said, she had been a manager previously, a publisher previously, and she said, Savage Music Publishing is looking at this from the outside and saying, wow, publishing's really broken. And I was like, I couldn't agree more. I think first deals are really predatory. You've talked about all of this on the pod. You're designed to not recoup. You're designed to fail. You're designed to just be on the tightest leash. So she said, we're trying to do something really different, really weird. Who knows if it's going to work? It's sort of, I feel like I'm kind of a proof of concept signing and we'll see how this goes.
Oh.
We're just kind of building the plane as we fly it, guinea pig situation. So the terms of my deal are they own none of my publishing. I own 100% of everything, writing and publishing. There's no advance. I don't get any money from them. We drink from the same river. If I make money, they make money.
Okay.
So it's similar to an admin deal in the sense that they're collecting for me, but at a slightly higher rate than a typical maybe 90-10 admin.
Okay.
And they're also doing all of my creative services. So they act as my publishing team. They're booking me. I was in a K-pop camp with Empire this past week with SM. I'll be in LA in a few weeks, and that's been booked entirely through Ashley. So that is like a rough outline of what's happening.
So an admin deal being like a typically like 90-10, sometimes 80-20. I love what I'm hearing, because the advance is really that's how it's, I don't want to, as much as some of them are very predatory, I don't think all of them are, but to your point, that's where the predatory is taken out. If they're not giving you money, they have nothing to really dangle. So then it's like, okay, well then how can we all win? What I'm curious about is the landing place of my publishing deal, as in where it is now. I'm guessing sort of mirrors where you are at the beginning, which is kind of wild, because a typical publishing deal starts off, they have all the publishing. Then you have some hits. Then you get half the publishing. Then you get some more hits, and then you get a little more of the publishing. Then you get some more hits, you get a little more of the publishing. And now I don't know where I'm sitting actually right now, but this is really interesting. It's almost like they're jumping the middle bits.
Skipping the middle bits.
Whoa.
With no draw or
correct. Yeah,
and I get no draw
I'm
either.
not making money from it, right?
Which again, this is kind
similar, yeah,
kind of weird.
Which puts us all on the same team. When I win, you win. There is no antagonism. There is no one pie that if I have more, you have less.
The one thing that is required is to not need money at this stage of the career is unique.
Well, let me take you back to, so I got here in 2017. I was 25 and I had dropped out of medical school and wasn't interested in pursuing medicine with, I had a degree in biochemistry and was like, I don't want to use this. I don't want to do science. I just want to write songs. So I got, I rented somebody's second bedroom and bounced around house to house, rent for $500, $600 a month, wherever I could for about 2.5 years, working at a flower shop. I taught music classes to babies. I was a dog walker. I was a barista. I nannied. I bartended, just did, whatever you have to do to make money. So lots of day jobs in that era. And then I did that for probably 6-ish years. And then I was home visiting my folks in Colorado 2 years ago. And I played my dad a demo just that I happened to get while I was in their house. And I was, it ended and I said, yeah, well, this is what I do all day. And he goes, this is so worthwhile.
Mm.
And I was like, so interesting you should say that. Worth what would you say? Like worth what?
If you were to put a number on it.
If you were to put a number on it, because I have been doing this for free for a long time and I'm writing full time and I'm just like scrapping for money elsewhere, which everyone's so familiar with. And I was like, we need to talk about money because I'm making risky financial choices by even continuing to try and pursue this. Like I have no savings. Can I grind on this for another 10 years? Or if you die, am I going to be completely screwed? Like, do I need to get a real job right now is what I'm asking. Because I was at that point where I was like, I either keep doing this for free, have no savings, could end up 45, 50 with nothing to show for it, except, a lifetime of creative fulfillment. Pish posh. Or I could have hits. There's just no way of knowing. And it doesn't really have to do with how good you are at what you do.
That's true.
So I had this really candid conversation with them. And once I saw their assets, I said, did you know that I make $14 an hour? And I started at 9 and it took me 5 years to get to 14. And they were like, yeah, that's really silly. And I said, I couldn't agree more. I said, would you be interested in me being your investment, an actual values-aligned investment? Like take out whatever you're investing in Exxon or something doing harm in the world that you don't even align with anyway. Like I can't guarantee you an ROI, but I can guarantee you a values-aligned investment. And so that was probably 2 years ago. And that's been my situation since. And that's, first of all, I have to say, just a position of extreme privilege. Who is in that situation? I also think it's important we talk about it because I think it's a lot more people than we know.
I really appreciate your candor because frankly, like I'm a parent who is capable of that exchange, will be capable of that exchange when my children are your age. Like investing in their dreams or whatever it is. It's tricky. It's complicated. It's a, I hope it works out, but what better thing to invest in? And there's also this funny thing called death that happens. And I'm not cursing anyone tomorrow, but we are all going to die. So I'm a person who can't take it with me when I go. And where that's a really interesting and compelling argument for in the country we live in, where $14 an hour is sadly a raise.
Oh,
and
it took me years to get to 14.
Like that fact that those are facts.
Some of the most fulfilled parents that I work with are ones that are actively giving while they're alive.
Right.
Giving while living.
It is so fun to sit with a client and say, hey, you're good. Just so you know, let's give to Hope on the Road. Let's give to your kids. Let's get and start doing that kind of, those kind of like opening their minds, showing a plan that kind of, we've done it.
Yes.
That's why you're smiling.
I am. Well, it's funny.
Because it's one of my most joyful moments with a client is to be able to say, check, that part's done. Now where can you have impact?
Well, and typically when you die, you give your money to your children. I mean, that's the first thing you're going to do.
But we're living so long. Like by the time they die, knock on wood, I will be close to retirement age. And it'll be like, I either could have been working as a barista until I was 50, or I could have been living well. And there was no reason for that not to be the situation. I think they saw that and said, we can afford to do this. And
now, do you have if you don't mind, do you mind me asking questions about this?
I'll answer whatever I'm
Whatever
comfortable
you
answering.
are comfortable
I'll
with.
say no if I don't
I'm
want to
just
answer.
curious, like, do you have paperwork with your parents that are they entitled to a certain amount of your publishing? Like, have you designated, like, this is the investment, this is how it'll come back to you? Or is it kind of like, we'll figure it out when we get there?
There's no figuring it out. They don't even know what publishing rights are.
Right. So they trust you.
I suppose one of the reasons a parent would have for withholding this kind of giving from a child is that you're worried the child isn't going to develop a work ethic or an understanding of what a dollar is.
Wow.
I was born with that. So
and they know that.
I'm not at a point where they're like, we're teaching her a lesson. I'm 34. Like, we are adults.
I love this.
And they have skills and had careers as physicians that are really highly valued in society. And I have skills and a passion and a career that is really, really undervalued in society. And in fact, DSPs make it pretty impossible to earn, especially starting when I started. So I think they are feeling like great about using their wealth to correct for some of how messed up the valuation of certain skill sets are. And it's also not just about our society right now. If you look throughout history, a lot of artists who are so famous now had wealthy benefactors.
100%.
It has been popular for rich people to give their money to artists for centuries. And a lot of times those artists they died with no acclaim to their name and became famous after. And all of that art wouldn't exist if a rich person hadn't said, this matters to me and it doesn't matter to the economy at large, so I'm going to invest here.
I am shook. That's really fucking beautiful. I love that it's not about, I love what it's about. And I also want to say, as much as the DSPs have you under their heel, which they do, I am living proof that it does sometimes result in great wealth. And so you're not investing in something, do you know what I mean? Like this could
they're not throwing money down a well.
It's possible that that their investment will actually have a return, but I think it's really cool that that's not the criteria. The focus is about the injustice of how artists are. I just love that. I think that's fucking beautiful.
Right.
Also, if I may, the return, there is a return. It's just not necessarily financial.
Yes.
It's a cultural return. We're investing in culture beyond them investing in their daughter. You are saying, I'm going to back this person who is doing some good in the world kind of on our behalf.
This podcast functions very similarly. And we are now in talks with people who finally understand that this is a gift we're giving, not a strategy. This is a gift we're giving. And I think we've found the right people. I hope we've found the right people. But it's funny, you're just really lighting up in me. People work like that? Like your parents actually think like that? And then having had a conversation with a few people, I'm like, oh my God, they're thinking like that too. This might be an indicator that the future actually gives a shit about something other than money. Because frankly, like that's how we're operating too.
Yes.
Our time, we're operating that way. We care about this more than we care about how much we're going to make on it.
And when you make something other than money into your God, don't you want to know what happens? I'm really curious about that. I'm interested in that world. And it's really scary to step into. And it took me a couple of years to sort through the shame of even considering saying to my parents, hey, how much money do you have?
I'm so amazed.
I'm glad you're seeing this other perspective pop up. I think there's so many different valuable and correct perspectives on this. When you had Carrie Kay on, she spoke about how when she left her, childhood home at 18, her parents said, you always have a bed, but you will not get a cent. And you were like, I love that. Maybe I'll do that with my kids. And that's so valid and great. And it's really working. And when I listened to that, I was like, maybe one day I'll get to be on Songwriter Soup and just pop on and say, there's other ways too that also work.
I'm deeply grateful for that because my kids are 11. I have no idea what I'm going to do yet. I do know that every time I have a conversation, I am given a new idea.
Yeah.
And that to me, that Carrie Kay was like, that's an idea. Ashley Gorley has weirdly down in history, somehow the whole town knows what he's going to do with his children. And I don't know how that's possible, but everyone knows what his plan for his kids. And it's pretty stark. It's pretty like, make your own way. That's his philosophy on it. Do you? But like, this is presenting me with a new idea. And frankly, like I'm already heavily investing in my kids. I mean, my son, it's hilarious how much a bat is. I cannot fucking believe how expensive a bat is. I can't fucking believe
Laura,
it.
just
Like,
wait.
you know what I mean? It's crazy. It just gets,
expensive.
and that's, but I'm already doing it. And to your point, there is another family out there doing the very best they can. Same team. So like their kids on our baseball team and they are going, how are we going to get this fucking bat? How are we going to get the bat? And my choice at this point will always be, first of all, buy the bat. And secondly, how can I buy their bat? Like, you know what I mean? How can I help?
Exactly.
And that's my goal. That's my fucking goal.
Because guess what? His team is better if all of those kids have bats.
Right. And the good ones.
The individualism is so pervasive and I think a bit misguided at this point.
You know where we drew the line though, and you'll love this. There is a bat that everyone has that is so fabulous, and everyone's like, "Oh my god, this bat!" I don't know what the fuck it's called. There's always
the
a
Firebolt.
bat.
Yeah,
right.
the Nimbus 2000.
The Nimbus 2000 of it all. The Nimbus 2000
I'm picturing
of it all.
them playing Quidditch, even though I've seen James play baseball. Picturing him flying around Shelby.
Literally, it's like, but the Nimbus 2000 of today, we'll call it that. Sure. There is a Nimbus 2000 that is signed by, Dumbledore. And that premium is $150 additional dollars. That has a fucking, and I'm like, that's where I draw the line. We're not spending, like, there's no point. I want the bat to be the best bat. I don't care what picture is on the outside of it. Yeah. And I don't care if your peers are going to have the bat with the special thing on it. You're not. So that's where my line is. I'm like, I want you to have the best thing, but I don't fucking care who signed the bat. I don't care who signed the bat. All this to say, you are enlightening me about how to be a better parent. You're giving me a new thought. I'm sure you're having it too. Like, we have little kids. This one's
I'm right there. I'm trying to make the decision right now. I've got a 19 and 23-year-old.
Interesting.
Who both want to be in the music space.
Oh, wow.
And I'm like, how do I participate but not get in the way? And all the things.
I spoke to my dad sometime in the last 6 months and talked to him about how much my life has changed since not having to figure out how I'm going to pay all my bills. And how much more I've been able to pour into music. It's not a coincidence that I signed this deal within 2 years of not having to have a day job.
And you had the ability to sign a deal
with no advance.
And
that's such a blessing.
The owner, yeah.
I will say that he and I had a conversation. I told him how much easier my life is and better. And he said, God, I'm feeling so bad we didn't do this earlier.
Oh.
And I was like, that's not what I meant. I was trying to express gratitude.
Yeah. Whoa, but I get that from a father's heart. Though.
Yeah.
I get that 100%.
But I'm much older than your kids.
Yeah.
I want to bring up the point that when the only people who can afford to make art are the people from rich families, rich, generous families, you have an extremely limited portion of the population putting their perspective into art. And art really suffers because of that. And that is a problem.
It is a
I
problem.
don't know what the solution is. We can't have the only songs coming from people from such a small slice of society.
I'm going to be a total dick and circle back to this podcast. It's exactly why this is free. I literally want to make sure that I don't care how little you make in the beginning, to make it last to the next part is the MO of this whole thing. Like, you don't have to have $1 million. I didn't come here with $1 million. I came here with nothing. And because of people like Tracy, I was able to like build wealth. You know what I mean? And so I'm just saying, like, exactly. There are people that could have charged for this information. In fact, they did. Before this podcast existed, I remember seeing like masterclass by so-and-so. And I'm like, bitch, calm down. You really need more money. You're going to charge a new kid $70 to download your, PDF. I'm like, Jesus, no. All that to say, yes, there is inequity in all of this. And things like this we are trying to balance everything out. And in the topsy-turvy world we live in, pendulums swing. That's just how it goes. And so we'll see. We'll see. But people like your parents and, I think it's a big win. I wanted to say too, something that Tracy said to me a while ago, because I just started tutoring my kids. I hired a tutor. We're out of the school system because we saw a failure in the school system. There are brilliant kids that will make it through and make amazing things out of their life. But for me, I chose an excellent education with lots of travel. That's what we're choosing. That's my choice. Okay. And when I talked to you about it, you were saying, when your kids get to a certain age, like you're volunteering as tribute to be your grandchildren's teacher.
Oh, yeah.
And the fact that that's like that's another way to be like, do you want specialized education where they're not fighting for time and getting tested endlessly and having to deal with bullies and devices and all these things? Like, you're going to create an opportunity for your children.
I hope I get to.
If you can. If they want that too.
If they want it.
But the fact that it's like, it's another way a parent can be, I don't know, helpful.
I just think as my boys have gotten older, I just want to be around them more. I mean, to be honest, I just feel this, like, I feel like there's something going on culturally that doesn't, like, oh, you should take off. I want family together, and I'm not afraid to ask or offer.
Or offer.
More offer's probably the right word, of like, hey, I'll be here. If you want me to, I can teach them English. Can't teach them biochemistry. I'm out on that stuff.
But sometimes doesn't that look like, hey, I'll fly you out here?
Yeah.
Sometimes there's money involved in that.
Yeah.
Sometimes
100%.
they're saying, if you'll spend time with me, I would love to do this and I can afford to make this happen. There's no reason for us not to hang out because you can't afford the plane ticket.
Precisely.
Because I have plenty to afford your plane ticket. Right.
It's an interesting future. And you're right. It should be said, this is not everyone's situation. It's not everyone's situation. It is a unique and privileged situation.
Extremely privileged.
However, it's not the only way to win, too. You can start off with nothing and still win. And then you can do this for your kids. You know what I mean? Anyway, I love that you brought this up. I love this conversation. It's weirdly a conversation about parenting, which I find to be so fascinating, considering you are not a parent, but you're like, thank you for bringing that conversation into the room. I really appreciate it. It's good.
Happy to. I
Good
think
shit.
it's important to be candid.
How has it changed your writing? And because I recall, I don't know if this was before or after this, arrangement was made, but your frustration about the grind in a moment. And by the way, this happens in flashes. The next day you were probably perfectly at peace, but I got to witness, I got to be helpful, I hope, to someone who was just going, what the fuck do I have to do to get to the next level? Just the frustration. I know it eased your mind, but how has it been since then? I haven't seen you in a little, well, I've seen you, but I haven't, we haven't sat around a table and talked about it in a little while. How has it shifted?
Since signing the deal, how has writing shifted?
And how had, all of these change, you seem calm. Let me put it that way. How you doing?
Good. I feel pretty calm.
Sick.
Familial wealth will do that.
Yeah.
Also, Zoloft will do that. Yeah. I have a lot on board helping me be calm.
That's good.
Collaboration.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah, exactly. I don't think signing the deal has changed my writing. It has changed the way I approach my calendar, which I love. I think when you are unsigned, you are constantly proving to people that you are a real songwriter. And one of the ways you can try to do that is by writing a song all the time. Say, I'm doing doubles, I'm writing weekends, I'm writing 5 days a week, I'm blah, 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 blah. And when I signed this deal, I sort of realized I didn't have the same compulsion to be in rooms just to be in rooms. And that
You're being a little more choosy.
was fascinating.
That's something to think about.
Yeah.
The hustle sort of relaxed just a second because you felt more validated. I mean, essentially.
I thought, okay, it's not up for discussion anymore whether or not I'm a songwriter, whether or not I'm a real songwriter. That's put to bed. Look, there's a post on Music Row Mag. Look, I did it.
Yeah.
Now I can try and be in rooms that I think are going to move my career forward.
Whoa.
And if that means fewer rooms for a little while, that's totally fine. And if it has to be fewer rooms in order to move into a space of different rooms, that's great. I have to leave space in my calendar for new stuff if I want my calendar to change. And I haven't had the security in my own validity as a songwriter to leave space in my calendar for years.
We've never said that, but that's really fucking cool.
I want to
leaving,
that.
you just said it. I wish I could repeat it as eloquently
we're
as you
actually
just
recording
put it.
this.
That's so great. Oh,
yeah.
I have great news
15 seconds, 15 seconds.
Rewind.
Just go back. But
It'll be awesome.
the idea of leaving space in your calendar for it to grow and become something new is really wise. That's wise.
And so scary.
I know.
So scary.
But weirdly, that time is used living, I imagine.
Right? It's
So that's not
for
so
me
bad.
mostly reading books. So
Yeah.
and that's so good for writing
And life.
and life.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
being a person.
I wonder if the less self-reflective but equally valid argument for what you're talking about would also have been to say, I've put all these hours in and I've accumulated enough hours so that I don't need to work like a psycho anymore too. Do you know what I mean? Like you've had the practice at this point. And it's not just outrunning the insecurity of I'm not a real songwriter yet, but also you've had a shitload of practice at this point,
Right. I think I know what you're saying. I think I reached that point a couple years into town of for a while I was like, did what everyone does. Please, anyone write with me. Anyone who will write a song. Let's write anything. I don't care if there's not an artist in the room because I know at the end of today, I'll be a better songwriter than I was when I walked in. And I certainly probably a year and a half, 2 years in, reached a point where I was like, that ROI is diminishing. I'm not always necessarily better at the end of the session than I was at the beginning. So I want to not be taking sessions just for that reason anymore.
I love that.
What were the metrics that made you think that? What were the things that bubbled up after a session like that?
That were diminishing. The thing that,
the diminishing ROI.
I felt myself learning. And when that started to go down, when I walked out of a room and thought, I think I could have done that alone, then it wasn't probably a room worth being in.
My dad, famous for one-liners, and on this podcast, I mention them all the time. He would always tell me when I first started this career, you need to be in front of people who make your palms sweaty.
Yes. Yes. I always want to be the worst writer in the room.
Yeah, it's just nervous and like, oh, boy, I hope I can keep up.
Yes. I want to be learning. That's why I like to be in the room with people like Laura. And I just say, there's so much to learn. This is how I feel about Jamie Floyd. Every time I'm in a room with her, I'm learning so much. Every time I'm in a room with Emma Klein, I'm learning so much. I feel so grateful to work with the people I get to work with because they're so much better than me.
You know what's so neat about relativity? That can never end.
Amen.
Right.
If you have a different perspective of life, you want to get to the point where you don't feel intimidated in any room, go do that. But I wrote last week, I was literally like, holy shit. I like the things I was absorbing and new skill set, like it can never end. This job is so magical. I don't understand why we get to do this, and I'm so fucking grateful. But the fact that there is no point where you're going to be like, wow, mastery. Like it doesn't come.
Well, what do I die then?
Exactly.
Right.
I feel that this is my calling. This is why I'm here.
Precisely.
Like, God forbid I ever get to a point where I'm like, check.
I know.
Nailed it.
There are people, I think the only reason people say that is because of insecurity or like an ego attack. I don't think that's actually really in the heart of any songwriter. I think we all really prefer learning, but insecurity makes us want to grab the wheel, or our ego makes us want to grab the wheel. And I really appreciate that, go to a therapist and figure that out so you can keep enjoying this job, because the job is way more fun than feeling like you're in charge or that you know better than anybody. I'm so phobic of turning into that. I remember there's this one with people that I still write with, thankfully, when I had a one hit, I went in there and I was like, nah. I did the thing. I totally did the thing.
No.
I said the phrase, what you're going to want to do is.
Laura.
I know. I said it once. I said it once, folks. And I went home and I was just like, I don't like the way I feel right now. Yeah. I do not like the way I feel. And by the way, the song was fine. Did it get a sniff of a hold? No. Did it matter? No. All I really did was make my co-writers think that I was in charge.
Which was for you.
It was for me because I was like, look at me, one hit.
It did not make the song better.
It really didn't. And I've only done that. I think I've only done that once. Hey, if I've done this to you, send me a DM and I'll apologize, because if I've ever let that bubble up, I would love to readdress it. I've never meant to do that, but I remember doing it once.
That is so brave. I can't believe you just put out a call for criticism.
I don't care. Give it to me. Give it to me. I don't because I want to learn. I mean, it's an ironic twist, but like, I would like to learn. If I'm doing anything that yesterday, if I'm doing anything that's making somebody feel like I'm the one holding the wheel, or that I'm consciously grabbing the wheel. Sometimes you end up at the wheel because people are like shoving you in the seat. That's different. I'm talking about when my hands start like my song. Like, I don't know. I don't think I do that, but if I do, I do want to know.
That's an impressive ego death.
I love death of ego.
You asking for that is very
my
impressive.
favorite feeling.
I think
I'm high on it.
Even more broadly, from songwriting, zoom out to any profession, to me, is the ego death is crucial to grow. And I think there's some, you don't have to work as much, or you don't have to whatever, because it's all, my world's money. But I'm in the midst of a business thing that I don't know when this is going to come out, Kevin, but whenever it does, we may be past it, maybe that theoretically you could be, oh, you did it.
Yeah.
To me, it's making my palms sweaty, because I'm going to be hanging around people that are better at this than I am. And I think there's I don't know, I would encourage everybody to stay curious and stay humble and look for things that get you out of your comfort zone.
I think this plays into every subject of life.
I'm thinking about it in terms of interpersonal relationship when you're talking about ego.
Yes, and I'm thinking about it with, to be honest with you, it's just what's on my mind right now, but like faith in whatever comes after we die. I listened to this Andrew Huberman thing about faith and religion, and how there is a lot of evidence that says it is healthy to, for your body to have some belief in something, okay? Or to have some sort of ritual, like a gratitude ritual or whatever. But it was interesting. The very first thing they said was, the conversation that was had was, if what you're trying to do is prove that you know what's going to happen after we die, you've reached the moot point. That's not the point. The point is, does it help you or hurt you? Those are the only conversations to have, because there's no way to prove anything. But this is that curiosity thing, because like the people that I have kind of like pushed away in my life, which I hate, but are people who think they know what's going to happen, full stop. And I'm like, yeah, but how could you know that? Like how? And then all of a sudden my opinion is devalued because they know, you know what I mean? All that to say, I'm applying this to that. We could apply it to any subject. Just that curiosity and the I don't know of it all is my favorite approach on everything. On everything.
Yeah, we're really resonating philosophically here, because I feel like in the last maybe 5 years of my growth as a human being, I've come to see 2 columns, and one of them is fear, judgment, and scarcity, and the other one is love, curiosity, and abundance. And they are paired. Fear, love, judgment, curiosity, scarcity, abundance. And they are really the same thing. Yeah, but that's everything you're talking about is really resonating.
It's for me too.
It's curiosity rather than judgment. If you're coming to something with judgment, it is because you are fearful about it and you have a scarcity mindset. If you're coming to something with curiosity, it's because you are full of abundance and love.
And you don't fear being wrong.
Yeah.
I think that's the scary thing for people. I mean, we're totally in the all of life bucket of subjects right now.
This is why we're friends.
I know.
Exactly. And to think that you have any ability to judge, like that, to me, I remember one of our first visits on the financial front is like, y'all were nervous about coming and thought there would be some kind of judgment, like, oh, where are you? Oh, you haven't quite made it yet, or whatever. And I think, wow, it amazes me, people in some type of authority figure, like if it's a financial person, that I'm a servant. I'm not an authority figure. Like that was
here, and so are songwriters,
right?
Like
to the artist.
Yeah,
that's where I was coming. Like
to the artist and to the people. Like to me,
yes.
It's like it's a couple layers out, and you can pick whichever you're serving on any given day.
Also to the song.
Yeah, baby.
I think there's a song that wants to exist.
Yes.
And if you've got your ego in the way, you're not going to see what's trying to come through for the room that day.
Whoa.
Anyway, I am a very deeply fearful person, so I love this column, and I'm always trying to be in this column instead, but man, am I scared.
What gives you fear? Like where does that come? What hits you today?
Oh, today? I don't know today. More broadly,
that sounds really scary.
No, I mean, I don't know what I'm scared of today. I think broadly, I'm scared of not being like loved. Yeah, I think that's the root of the whole judgment column.
Yeah,
safe and loved. Yeah.
What about you?
Me?
Yeah.
In this moment, fearful of the unknown.
With the deal?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a nervous time, and a lot going on.
So
and a lot of faith required. Like
Yeah.
a lot of like
Trust. And
you know, I've used this analogy. I had a business coach one time tell me about, we're talking about faith and business. And he said, I'm going to pour some water out and you try to grab as much as you can. And he did it. He literally pulled the trash can over, poured water out, and I'm doing this and nothing's staying. And he goes, now just flip your hand like this. And I caught water.
Yeah.
And his analogy was like the grasping, that feeling, I really resonated.
The white knuckle.
Yeah, that feeling of I got to be riding every day, 3 times a day to validate myself as a songwriter. Like I resonated with that because I felt that way for 8 years in this career. Like I've got to be, I was in the office at 5 a.m. every morning. I would, just like grind. And he's like, no, man, flip it upside down.
Yeah.
Like just catch it. It's there.
You said fear of the unknown with this deal you have coming up, but I feel like it's only fair if you're going to entertain hypothetical fear of something bad happening. You need to give, it's like FCC equal airtime. You need to entertain hypothetical excitement of something good happening.
Yeah.
So
right.
I think you need to spend as much time imagining a good outcome as you do fearing a bad outcome.
We talk to our son about this all the time. It's like your imagination is so incredible when you're scared. Can we try to use your imagination in a different way? Because it is that. You're totally right.
Yeah, and my particular solution to that, because I agree with you there, is like I just give it a like, okay, if I'm worried, I can cycle. I'm a planner. I can work a problem incessantly. And at some point, I think you've got to say, well, I'll say, here's what I say is I have a God that's good to me. I'm trusting. I'm just going to go with it and walk through that door, because the same sweaty palms of joining this group is so exciting, exciting. People doing things at high levels, thinking smart thought, smarter than me.
Yeah.
That part's so exciting. And these other things, we'll figure it out. I'll catch it.
Yeah.
I don't need to grab it. I don't need to force it. I call one of my advisors on this deal regularly, say, hey, I'm just going to vent for a second. Just hear me. And then you tell me if I'm crazy. And then we'll go from there.
I feel like I've made you that call about 1,000 times.
It's helped me, experiencing that with clients has helped me use him in that way.
That's
and
cool.
say, hey, I just need to air this out. And then I'll be rational. I'm not going to be rational for a minute.
This sounds like an AA sponsor-sponsee relationship to me that you guys are describing.
I don't think it's not that. I mean, there's a lot that is that. I love it.
And to encourage the money people out there, it's more psychological than it is pluses and minuses and columns and spreadsheets. Like, it's really psychological. I have a financial planner that does my money because I'm just as emotional as anybody.
Yeah.
Like, tell me what to do. I'm going to tell you my dreams. I'm going to tell you what I dream of and what I've got to work with.
Yeah.
And then you tell me what you think I should do.
Yeah.
Because I'm just as wrapped up emotionally as anybody else.
Not to say you can't make a wise choice from an emotional place.
True. 100%.
Sometimes that's your connection to wisdom.
Particularly in songwriting, I'd say. I mean, emotional decisions are probably going to, maybe you too, I don't know.
Make better art.
But make better art, just taking those big swings and being like obnoxious.
Yeah, every song I've had do well has been so vulnerable and so true.
I was actually going to ask you about that. We came in at such different times. I'm wondering how your kind of like your evaluation of the playing field. Like when I was evaluating the playing field when I first got here, I was like, okay, write for men, stay within this lane because these are the rules, figure out how to follow the rules, because I was like really trying to figure out Nashville. I hadn't really had any experience in LA where my freak flag could go nutty. I feel like you're in a different trajectory. You've just always said, no, I'm going to go ahead and do this other thing. And it seems like since then, all your people just keep kind of clocking up another one. But you were there at the beginning. You never seemed to like fall in line. You know what I mean? Which I admire. And I'm also curious about what do you think? How do you see it? Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe that wasn't how it began for you. Just from a pure writing standpoint.
I think I was sort of pre-rejected from the Nashville situation because look at me. I mean, it's not like there ever was a time when I was like, I'm going to come in and pretend I'm not gay And that's, for some reason, precludes me, I think, from succeeding in the machine. I don't really understand why. I just want to write great songs and tell the truth. And I think a lot of those songs could have success at country radio, but I think it's much less likely.
I think what you're saying too is, and by the way, gay people built this town, whether people know it or not. So that's facts. People like massive songwriters who are in the Hall of Fame who've sat on these couches are gay, but they were not out.
Yeah, that just wasn't a path available to me.
Yeah.
I am what they call 100-footer.
What does that mean?
Just you can see from 100 feet away, like that is a homosexual. There was just no way I was there. Yeah. Can you even imagine me being closeted? No. I cannot imagine me being closeted. I don't even, the second I knew I was gay, everyone else knew too. There was never a period when I was like, I could pretend this isn't true.
Right. So did you find that when you moved here, you were kind of looking for like-mindedness and not trying to fight your way through the rejection doors of, which, by the way, I fall within the LGBTQ community in my way, but I'm also married to a man, so I can kind of like, you know, I don't have to, it's not 100-footer, whatever. I can cosplay or whatever it is. All that to say, when I first moved to town, anything weird about me, I was trying to subdue so that I could be accepted, essentially. So it was more about my weirdness and less about my gayness or whatever. That was just like trying to stay. I've talked about this on the podcast. It's like shelve the weird, save it for later. Got to get in the door first. How did you approach those doors? Were you just like, that door's shut, I'm going to find these other people who are into the same vibe? Because that seems to be how you've succeeded song-wise. So how did that go? Because this is what we were saying before that we started rolling. Like, we came in at different times.
Right.
There were none of those people. None. None.
Out people, you
Not
mean?
just that. There were
What do you
no
mean, weird people?
Weirdos.
Weirdos.
When I tell you.
Which is crazy because this is music.
I know.
This is where weirdos belong. Weirdos built this.
But Nashville had
You had your pants down in your band photo, Tracy.
It's true. It's true.
It's true.
Now you're in chinos.
I know, but the truth, you're amazing. But the truth is when, I first came here, Casey Musgraves hadn't happened yet.
Yeah.
Right. It was literally just not.
Been some breakout.
There have
events.
been some
that you've been part of.
True, and that's fun, but
you've opened a gap.
How crazy was it though that there were no weirdo doors to walk through? I think it's kind of wonderful that there is a growing community that's just living alongside. And by the way, those people interconnect as well. It's not like it's verses or anything. It's just that it's neat that that's a thing. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's
also, I think it's not good business to not welcome weirdos.
I mean,
that's just a really slim sliver of the population that it does not feel weird. And if that's who you're writing songs for, I don't know how long it's going to last.
I mean, I hear you.
Yeah. So I feel like, to answer your question, when I came to town, I thought that songs were the higher thing we were all serving. I didn't really understand at all that anything else was going to matter. And the best way to make good art is to be authentic. So that's the place I was operating from. And I wanted to work with other people who were also being authentic.
I really hope that continues to take root as music evolves because, feedback loops are feedback loops. Like, my feedback loop was different. That wasn't the feedback loop I was getting back. I was getting people saying things like, we can't do that. Like, that's 4 chords. That's one too many. Like, I was in rooms like that where I had to go, wait, they won't use an analogy? I can't use an analogy? Okay. I gotta be super literal. So my feedback loop was just like how to make it was honestly, and I want to say, there's good in everything because I kind of liked the fact that the bullseye kept shrinking. I was just like, well,
that can be really fun as a writer.
It was fun. And I'm like, I'm going to sail a fucking pin through that thing from 20 yards and I'm going to just like I enjoyed it. I enjoyed going, okay, if those are the rules, then I'm going to win. I'm going to figure out how to win on that. But I'm also kind of like, wow, how cool is it that this generation has more bowling alley space or something? Like,
yes.
Do you know what I mean? Like the lanes got wider or something.
Yeah. In this session 4 days ago, last week, this camp, I was in a session with Isaiah Leroy and Stu Stapleton, and Stu put a 6 chord in the pre-chorus.
Mm-hmm.
It was mind-blowing. and it's for K-pop. Mm-hmm. So, and the people from Empire said, go as weird as you can.
Yeah.
And we said, okay. Mm-hmm. And I sat on the mic and tried to find a melody that worked over a 6 chord for like 10 minutes. It was so hard. And that's so fun. That's so weird.
Yeah. That.
And that's K-pop, that's not Nashville.
Exactly.
That camp happened in Nashville.
And it continues to happen here.
And it will.
Cool. Yeah.
Yeah. But there's also, Casey's using weird chords. It's not a 3-chord thing anymore.
I mean, Morgan Wallen's using weird chords. Like there is weirdly, like even the most down the middle are still pulling it around.
I want to ask a simple K-pop question. I'm just curious. Is K-pop regimented or wide open? When you, my newbie ear to it is like, it's pretty button boxed in.
It's both
as
to me.
Thing. Yes, but I was going to say it weirdly feels like both.
Okay.
Because there's, probably new groups coming out all the time and you don't know what they're going to sound like and you don't know what's going to work. But then there is the feedback loop happening of this is what worked, hit it again, hit it again, hit it again, hit it again, hit it again. They're both happening.
Got it.
Also, Korea as just a source point, they have cultural rules that sometimes you follow with this band and sometimes you don't have to follow with this band because this band came out of a different place, but it's also considered
region
right. Yeah. So like culturally, sometimes there's rules like, obviously if you're writing for like, there's certain like sexual things with like Ariana Grande. It's like you're pitching a song to Ariana Grande or Tate McRae or whatever. It's like the sex doesn't really need to be dialed down in any kind of way. There's certain K-pop groups where it's like and it's weird because it's nuanced. It's like, this much, you know what I mean? And you're like, but you can't say that word. You can only say this. Like it's a strange set of rules. So there are tons of rules and frankly, I enjoy it. I love it.
Right.
It's like, how can I be, again, innuendo and like all this stuff without being like too overt and offending the culture because the culture is a big part of K-pop.
Right.
It's really fun as a writer.
It's super fun.
And so different from being in a room with an artist and saying, what is your truth? Let's put your truth into this song. Yeah, I was not in the room with these artists. If I get a K-pop cut, I will never have met those people. Yeah. That's not their story.
You never will.
Yeah, you never will.
It's
so different because I do so much indie stuff with just like road dog artists who are touring all the time. And it's like, we're going to write this part of my story and here's the next project. And it's coming out in 2 months and I'll be touring on this for the next year and a half. And I know the people who are going to show up to these shows in different cities. I know which ones are probably going to get this specific lyric tattooed. It's completely different than doing the K-pop thing.
Here's my hope for you for the future. Like I'm on the NMPA board, as you know, and like all the boards, it's like I'm trying to back end, incentivize writers to write songs for those road dogs and like the people who go viral but don't have radio airplay and stuff. It would be so cool if all of this crescendoed in a way where your parents invested in you, you're able to make everything that feels natural and genuine and, authentic to you, and somehow you end up in the era where you get paid on a master. You know what I mean? That's my dream. I was able to come in where, airplay is still in my life. I've managed to figure out but that's only because I'm at the point where those artists actually they're not really, it's a closed door. Those artists are interested in me. And the next generation, it's like, how far away will that get? Will those artists ever really end up on, terrestrial radio? I don't know. So at some point, I'm hoping that like everything, like all, tributaries end up at the same ocean, waterfall spout or whatever the fuck. What did I just say? I have no idea. But like to the point where all of the things connect and all of a sudden your life is more lucrative by way of not radio. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think that's some of what like Ross Golan and so many other people are trying to do in legislatures to make it possible for you to exist as a songwriter financially without radio.
Yes. And I am more and more finding executives who are interested in this too.
Right.
That is, to me, the biggest shift that's happened in the last maybe 6 months is that I'm hearing more executives talking about it.
Great.
Because it starts off in the writer room and we're bitching and moaning and going, what the fuck are we going to do? But if
let's hear it for bitching and moaning, because that really is where it starts.
It gets
you have to,
you know,
God,
especially
I hate bitching and moaning. God, these people.
Bitching and moaning sucks. But when you're doing it on a microphone and somehow this is getting to be a discussion at large, that's when the executives start thinking, maybe we need to address this. And who knows, maybe not, but we'll see. Money is greed is a powerful thing. I don't know what's going to happen, but my hope again is that all signs to your dad and your mom made a great decision financially in addition to a great decision culturally. Like, do you know what I'm saying? Like, that would be sick. I would love that for you guys.
I can also say they picked the right person to do that for, right? Like, say that they wanted to be angel investors to a to someone in your position who wasn't their daughter. Not everybody would have your perspective, B, feel the duty to like do the thing in the right way, and C, produce good art.
I feel it heavy. I feel that responsibility to be a steward heavily. Yeah.
That's very inspiring.
Yeah. Oh, I just want to quickly clear up. I know I talked about my dad and money, but I need everyone to know that my mom always made more money than my dad.
I love to hear it. I love it. Yeah, I'm familiar with that makeup.
She worked really hard.
Yeah.
And so did he. But I just don't want anybody getting the wrong idea.
No.
That like, dad has all this money, blah, blah, blah. Nope, it's mom's money. It's both of their money.
I love your dad, and I haven't met him. And the reason I love him is because I asked Nell one time, my kids had a dance they were going to go to at their little group.
Yeah. Oh.
And I wasn't going to be in town, which of course is like, oh my God, the biggest, fattest tear of all time. But I was like, no, would you please be their chauffeur? Like, I need someone safe. I need someone who's going to get him there, pick him up, and know they're going to be okay, period, blah, blah, blah. And she's like, my dad's in town. Can he come? And I was like, yeah. And she's like, he's a physician. He's retired. He misses kids.
Yeah, pediatrician.
A pediatrician.
Oh.
And I'm like,
he's like,
oh my
I
God.
would love to hang out with 2 11-year-olds on a Saturday night.
That'd be great.
Kills me. Awesome. My trip ended up getting canceled, which I was happy about because I wanted to be there myself. But I will never forget your dad. Just the idea of your dad going, "Can I go?" It's so cute.
He's the best.
That's so sweet.
Yeah.
I want to know if there's anything that we haven't discussed that you had on your docket of thoughts.
Can I just say the artists I love and want people to listen to?
Yes.
Just the people I'm working with who I'm the most excited
100%.
Okay. You and I spoke recently about Abbie Callahan.
I love her.
Unbelievable.
I love her.
Everyone needs to be listening to Abbie Callahan. Actually, today's the 27th. She's actually in the studio today recording.
Who's sick?
2 that we've done that I am like beyond excited about.
Oh my God.
And it's feeling like so grateful for Casey so that Abbie can Abbie.
Yes.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Casey Musgraves led to a lot of people freak flagging, which is wonderful.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. And freak flagging like from Iowa.
Yeah.
Let's go. Just beautiful. Chris Housman. Love him. Work with him all the time. Incredible. Marielle Craft. She is the indie road dog I am talking about when I talk about indies. She is the hardest working, like touring all the time, touring the same markets 2 to 3 times a year, building up fans for 7, 8, 9 years now. Selling merch, selling tickets, writing great songs, putting out music consistently. She is, when anybody says to me, I want to be an indie artist, I'm like, look at Marielle Craft. That is the gold star of how to be an indie artist. And her music is so fun.
I love it.
And so good. And I want everyone listening to her.
I love it. That's amazing. Yeah. I love the shout out. No one's ever asked to do that. I love that you did.
It should be a prerequisite.
I know, for real. We should do that at the end of each show.
Ending shout outs.
Yeah.
Let's do that.
I love it. Well, Nell, you have been honestly, we've gone into new territory today. I feel like we really uncovered something very new, which excites me.
Me too.
And thank you for that.
And you've helped me with my kids.
Great.
And I appreciate that.
I hope I get to meet them.
They're a hoot.
It's a really neat thing.
When you hear a house full of kids with romping EDM music, you'll know. They want to change that. It's funny. They have this vision. I love this youthful exuberance of we're going to change Nashville. And I'm like,
me too.
Dude, full gas.
Yes, they are.
Full gas.
Yes,
Go
they
do
probably
it.
are.
Do something. Do something wild.
Wow.
Do it.
I've got my pants down my ankles.
I got my pants on my ankles.
Thank you so much
Thank
for
you,
having
Nell.
me.
I'm
Thank you for
so
going
happy
there
you're
with
here.
me. I love having these kind of conversations.
It makes me excited. Thank you for
Me too.
being
Thank
here.
you for being here.
Thank you for listening. Tracy, Kevin, Laura, Nell. Comment, subscribe. I don't know.
Do the things.
Do all the things. You know how to do it.
Don't even do so.
I appreciate you listening. I
And
love y'all.
vote.
And vote.
We have a local election coming up.
That's right.
Oh,
Yeah.
Vote it out. Do what you got to do. All right.
Bye.
Bye.